Okay, let's go. Yeah, hang on. Mute it. Back here in the bottom of the fourth, we apologize for the streaming errors. We're back here. It's 2-out situation. You haven't missed much. As the Jackfish first two batters were Sutherland and then Hildebrandt. Sutherland flew out to right field, and Hildebrandt grounded out to the second baseman for the second out of the inning. This is Griffin Keller now. The count 1-0 from Jaffine, and now it's a strike down the middle. Evens the count at 1. So we try to clean up that blemish, of course. We apologize. You only missed a couple batters. If you're just joining us, it's a 0-0 ball game. Zeros across the board so far. That misses downstairs. That offering from Jaffine.
You know, Spencer, I just realized I worked all day, so my brain's not always on par, right? But we got a lefty versus lefty pitching matchup here today.
Yes. Bowato and Jaffine, both left-handers, southpaws for each respective club.
I picked it up in the middle of the fourth, so not too bad.
Keller trying to work against Jaffine. The count 2-1 in favor of Griffin Keller. That's inside, but comes right back over the plate. Keller tried to step back off that one. Thought it was going to be inside, but came across the plate for a strike. 2-2. 2 outs, though. Nobody aboard. No score here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Keller comes into the ball game, just striking out one time, batting 2, and that'll be a 3-2. He's hit a double, a home run, and 5 hits in just 4 games this season. Keller joined the team after the team lost 18-7 in Kitchener, and he was a part of the huge and busiest week in baseball, probably for the Welland Jackfish, as they signed 5 or 6 players, including Keller and returning Nolan Pettipies and Brendan Dadson.
That was a great weekend for the Jackfish, to be able to bring in some reinforcements, some returning faces, and be able to just strengthen the roster up a little bit, start getting those double-digit numbers down.
Also joining the team during that week was pitcher Jake Palanchik, who pitched in his first outing for the Jackfish on Sunday afternoon in Toronto. Went 6 innings. Not a bad night, actually. The Jackfish dropped that game 7-6 in a back-and-forth seesaw battle at Christie Pitts. So 3-2 offering as he fouled back the last one. This one's, it's a high fly ball hit in the air to center. Racing it after it is the center fielder for the Sox, and he will catch it for out number 3. So the Jackfish go 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the top of the 5th. It's scoreless through 4 complete here at the pond. The kids will run on the bases when we come back. You're watching Jackfish Baseball from the pond. So 4 innings are complete, and this is one of my favorite activities at the pond, and a lot of teams do it in baseball. The kids run the bases, and the fans trying to bring home a couple of little base runners and future Jackfish, as the fans just bringing these base runners home. The youngsters from all over the Niagara region, as Rod Mahood giving her the big celebration for touching home plate and scoring the first run of the ball game. Be sure to support the Welland Jackfish by visiting shop.wellandjackfish.com. That's shop.wellandjackfish.com for all your Jackfish merchandise needs. These include hats, sweatshirts, jerseys, and much, much more. Be sure to join us at the pond and remember your time right here by supporting the local hometown team and taking home some Jackfish swag today. So 4 complete, and it's a 0-0 ball game. 0-0 through 4 complete innings, and it's been a game of a defense, a lot of defensive plays so far, and we talked about how the bats have not really been the issue for either of these teams really, but tonight, defensive battle between both clubs.
Yeah, both pitchers are doing a great job, not giving the hitters much, and when they are getting hit, the defense is right behind them to pick them up. So it's a tough goal for the hitters tonight.
Well, this is Bowato's 4th start. Bowato was 2-0 and then dropped a decision in Kitchener against the Panthers, and now he's right back at it through 4 complete so far. Has only given up 1 hit. Just a couple hits aside. 2 hits for the Red Sox, 2 hits and a 1 hit for the Jackfish. And that's where we sit. It's a 0-0 ball game. And the lone error of the game, the Red Sox committed off that throwing error, which allowed Dadson to move to second. And that's it. No base runners have passed second base. We've not gone past second so far. Here in the top of the 5th, the Red Sox trying to break the goose egg against the Jackfish here tonight. Glad you could be a part of this one. 2-0 as Bowato falls behind in the count early against the Red Sox leadoff man of the inning.
Not something you said very often this game, is that Bowato was behind in the count.
This is Reed, the lefty, starting things off for the Red Sox. It'll be Reed, followed by the first baseman Burdette and the catcher Gauthier. The 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Red Sox in the 5th inning. And now it's a 3-0 count.
He was taken all the way. Good job, Bowato. Fire that one right down the pipe.
3-1 as Bowato gets right back in it. Here's the 3-1. Right down.
Job.
It's like a carbon copy of that 4th pitch. Another strike. 3-2. Full count with Burdette warming up on deck.
Just copy and pasted the same pitch.
Now the 3-2 delivery. Fouls it away into the netting behind home plate.
Speak to Bowato's strong game, down 3-0 to the hitter, probably for the first time today, I think. He's worked himself right back into a full count now.
So this is Jacob Reed, the 24-year-old who 25, just celebrated the birthday on July 25th. So happy birthday, Jacob Reed of the Brantford Red Sox.
25 plus 4 days.
High fly ball. The first baseman, Hildebrandt, moves under it and records the opening out in that long at-bat.
One of the longer at-bats of the night for the Red Sox there.
First baseman Nick Burdette.
You know, in between innings there, you read an ad for the bait shop to get some great souvenirs. I tell you, the Jackfish has some of the best logos, best branding so far here in the IBL that I've seen.
Well, a lot of teams, of course, trying to get their names out there, and the IBL as a whole trying to get this league out there. And it's great when you see guys like Jamie Campbell come here and you promote it. Sportsnet does a great job, and the local newspapers and the radio stations, 610 CKTB, of course, for Niagara and the Jackfish. This league is getting there, and it's coming to a place where, players and fans really start to know what the IBL is. And it's awesome to see. Sportsnet was in doing a feature on Zardali Sina. That should be out shortly. I'm sure they're actually doing a couple of others. I believe Cleveland Brownlee of London and a couple others features are being worked on. So it's great to see the exposure this league is finally getting. As you know, there's plans of growth and development for the league. And who knows, 3 straight years, this league could be, 12 teams, 15 teams even down the road.
Love to see it. Hopefully we get, is it Guelph back?
Guelph, yes.
Hopefully we see them returning. Yeah, you see the great support they get here in Welland. There's no reason that any other city in Ontario couldn't have very similar support.
So Burdett walks
His first walk
on a tight walk, called ball on the inside corner. So Burdett takes his base on the walk, and that'll bring up Gauthier for the Red Sox with Burdett on first. Pitch in the dirt, but that'll be a block from the catcher, Workin, and that'll stop the base runner from going anywhere. So 1-0 as Bowato trying to settle down here a little bit.
One of the rare times again is working from behind here.
Burdett a slight lead, but not known for stealing.
No, I wouldn't wager he's going anywhere. It's the first baseman over there, and he's built like he plays first base. Taking a little time while the pitcher and catcher get on the same page here.
Well, the count 2-0 to the catcher, Robbie Gauthier. He'll be followed by DeLuca, and then back to the top of the order for Morello. Gauthier grounded out to the pitcher, and there's a shot right up the middle that'll get between the second baseman and shortstop. It's a single that'll move the base runner. And for the first time this game, they have 2 base runners aboard.
Left fielder Mike DeLuca.
It's the first time either team has had 2 base runners aboard this
Oh,
game.
excuse me, second time.
Second time.
So it's a 1-out single. That'll move Burdett to second, and Gauthier now aboard on first.
Facing the number 9 hitter here. I'd like to see him get out of this jam a little bit.
So this is DeLuca. He flew out to the center fielder Marriott in his last at-bat. Takes the first pitch downstairs for a ball. A couple of base runners now aboard. Here a little bit of action in the top of the 5th. It's a scoreless game between the Brantford Red Sox and Welland Jackfish. Inside, thought about taking a swing at that one, but holds off and gets ahead of the count 2-0. And with that, Brian Esri, the field manager, is going to come out and have a quick word with Bowato. We'll see what happens. I know there are a couple pitchers that are scheduled to pitch tonight. Casey Howard being one of them, and Rich Carente. We'll see how long they go, as Bowato's been known to go at least 6 or 7 innings. It's only the top of the 5th. Just a little settling down conversation.
Bowato can eat innings, there's no doubt about it. He just seemed to lose a little bit of his command here. I'm sure Esri's telling him, just settle back down, get back to what you were doing in the first few.
Well, this is the bottom of the order right now, and he'll go back to Morello as it's a 1-out situation. 2 base runners aboard. A double play would end it. Here in the top of the 5th, Brantford putting a little bit of pressure on, and a beautiful off-speed pitch gets him to swing. Strike 1. So 2-1, 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
DeLuca was definitely looking fastball there.
Here's the offering. Missed downstairs, unable to frame that in the strike zone. 3-1. Burdett aboard at second. It's Gauthier on first base for the Sox. 3-1 count. High fly ball. And that'll move unplayable into the berm. And the fans will race after it. Going downhill, sliding into the fence. That was exciting to watch those kids try to get that anything for a ball.
He came back with the ball, but got a little slower than the other one.
3-2, full count. Bewato working against DeLuca. Here's the pitch. It's a shot. That'll get down. That'll at least score one for the Sox. The throw.
Try to score 2.
And it's a RBI double for DeLuca in the bottom of the order. So the Red Sox break through and open the scoring on an RBI double from DeLuca to center. And it's a 1-0 Red Sox lead.
That's tough. It wasn't even a hard hit ball. It was just hit in the right place. Found the space out there. Enough for him to get all the way to second.
Center fielder Gianfranco Morello.
So Burdette comes home to score. Gauthier moves to third. And DeLuca is aboard on second with that RBI double. So a huge inning so far as that breaks through. A couple of hits. And now that brings up Morello. And the top of the order takes opening strike number 1 of this at bat. Morello followed by Fishbaum and Fountain. The top of the order for the Sox. Morello 0 for 2 in the ball game. A strikeout and a flyout, and there's a shot to left. We'll see if it's enough for a sac fly. The throw not going to be in time.
Oh, they might have on 3.
And that's going to be thrown into the outfield, so a throwing error. And just like that mistake will allow 2 runs to score, and the Red Sox take a 3-0 lead.
That's a tough error. It looks like they had him dead to money on third base. They're trying to tag. Tough throw, ends up in left field. Put a knee up on the board.
So it's a sac fly for Morello, and then the DeLuca comes in on a throwing error from the Fish. As that was not pretty.
No.
So sac fly makes it a 3-0 ball game for the Red Sox. Jackfish again unable to get out to that early lead. Unable to find leads, really. High fly ball that'll go foul and behind the press box.
Bewato gave him plenty of chance for the first few innings to put some runs up, and Jaffney's done a good job of shutting him down.
1-2 count, 2 outs. It's a 3-0 Red Sox lead. All 3 runs coming in this top half of the 5th. Here's the offering from Bewato. Fouled it back again into the softball fields. 1-2.
Hard to see who it is, but Jackfish has someone light throwing in the bullpen right now. Just some tosses.
As it's Rich Corrente, the lefty, warming up for the Jackfish. So 1-2. Here's the offering. Check swing. Did he go? No. As Jacob Goba, the first base umpire, says no, did not go. Count even 2. 2-2, 2 outs. They've cashed in 3. Here in the top of the 5th, that pitch well outside. Bewato wants that one back. That is well off the mark. 3-0 Sox is where we stand here, halfway through the ball game. Here's the 3-2. Strike 3 called, and the Red Sox can't believe it, as Fishbaum is retired on the strikeout. 3-0 Red Sox will go to the bottom of the 5th when we come back. You're watching Jackfish Baseball on a beautiful, thirsty Thursday.
Off the 5th inning for the Jackfish. Designated hitter, number 11, Tony Kwan.
So bottom of the 5th we go, and Tony Kwan will lead things off for the Jackfish. The Brantford Red Sox come into the 5th inning and put up 3 and now lead 3-0 on the road over the Jackfish. As Jaffine continues the work for the Red Sox. And that's where we stand. 3-0 Red Sox here on a beautiful Thursday night in Welland.
Thirsty Thursday here at the pond.
So it's the opening pitch for a ball inside. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. Kwan trying to run it out. The throw, that'll go away in the dirt. Kwan's going to round first and go to second. Time called. So Kwan gets to second on a ground ball that looked like it was going to be an easy out.
Yeah.
But the throw in the dirt.
Hey, we'll take it. Get the runners on base. Leadoff runner on base now. Start to answer here a little bit.
Your second baseman,
So we'll assume it'll be an error against the third baseman on the throw. And that'll allow Kwan to move to second.
Heads up base running there too by Kwan. Saw the throw in the dirt, made the turn. Leadoff man on 2 now.
So Tony Kwan sits behind Jaffine as time is called by the catcher. Gauthier calls time as their signals get crossed. And this is Nolan Pettipiece. He'll be followed by Dave Benning and Eric Marriott, the bottom of the order for the Jackfish. 3-0 for the Sox, though. All the runs coming in this 5th inning so far. Shows bunt, pulls back. It's upstairs for ball 1. Red Sox looking for their first win over the Welland Jackfish. They did not beat them in 2019, and it's a 2-0 start for the Jackfish against the Red Sox this season. 7 wins so far between these two ball clubs, all of them in favor of the Jackfish. There's a shot. It's on the ground to the second baseman. That'll move the base runner Kwan to third, but Pettipiece is retired.
They got a runner 90 feet away now.
Number 6, Dennis Dave Banning.
So Dave Banning steps up for the Jackfish with Kwan on third.
Jackfish really need to cash Tony Kwan here. They need to get up. They need to put 1 up on the board at least. Crooked numbers are always better, but let's start with 1.
Well, it's 3-0 for the Red Sox as Jaffine, for the first time, has to worry about a base runner on third for the Jackfish. First time tonight they've had a base runner just 90 feet away from the plate as Dave Benning holds off and takes the opening pitch for a ball. So Welland ahead in the count, 1-0 with 1 out, and Kwan aboard at third. Called strike by the umpire inside, 1-1. One and one. Kwan aboard on third. Here's Dave Banning. Here's the offering. Well inside in the dirt. That'll get past the catcher, and the Jackfish are on the board. It's 3-1. Take him any way you can, and that's how you get Kwan home on just a pitch that really he'll want back in the dirt that gets by the catcher.
Absolutely. Don't ask how, they ask how many. And to score by 2 errors, doesn't matter, it's still a run on the board.
That's correct. So they cancel out the errors, as you could say, as the Red Sox cashed in on a throwing error from the Jackfish, and now that one. The wild pitch gets away from the catcher, and Kwan is scored. So 3-1. Dave Benning struck out his first plate appearance in the second. And now he's ahead in the count, 3-1. Jaffine, here's the 3-1 against Dave Benning upstairs. And Dave Benning is given first base.
Again, it's the bottom of the order. Doing some damage for these teams so far. Let's keep this going now.
So that'll bring up Eric Marriott.
Gonna get a mound meeting here so they can all get on the same page.
So a mound visit for the Red Sox here. They try to keep the Jackfish at bay and hold them off as Jaffine and the Red Sox try to hold their lead. They put up 3 in the top half of the inning.
Your center fielder, number 9, Eric Marriott.
And the Jackfish able to cash in Tony Kwan.
Spencer, you're a Jackfish veteran here a little bit. I got a question. Do the players pick their own walk-up songs?
Of course, yes.
They do, eh? It's
yes.
not just a resident DJ assigning them what they want?
No. They all have free choice, whatever. Of course, it has to be clean. That's a very common factor. But no, they all get to pick their own, whatever they want. Some of them country, some of them rock. Hits the batter. And Dave Benning sliding into second, not realizing that it actually caught a piece of Marriott. So now 2 base runners aboard for the Fish.
Still just 1 out, too. They're getting it going.
Catcher number 34, Cole Larkin.
So Dave Banning is on second, and Marriott, after being hit by the pitch, is on the bases for the first time tonight. And now we go back to the top of the order, Cole Larkin. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame. 0 for 2 today. And he swings at the first pitch offered from Jaffine and fouls it away into the softball fields. Larkin will be followed by Datsun and then Sutherland. 2 base runners aboard for the Jackfish here in the middle of the ballgame. Seems where all the action is starting to pile up. 3 runs by the Sox in the top half of the 5th. And the Jackfish able to score 1 so far here in the bottom half. 1 out, base runners, first and second for the Jackfish. Jaffine looks back at second. Here's the pitch. Inside. That gets away from Gauthier, and that'll move the base runners. And now the Jackfish have 2 in scoring position.
Tough inning behind the plate for Gauthier. First one in the dirt, tough block. That one was just right off his glove. I'm not the official scorer. I call it a pass ball.
Curtis Person, the
Pass
official
ball. I got the thumbs up over there.
approval.
Score, pass ball.
The meteorologist, shipper, receiver, and scorekeeper Curtis Person
Does it all.
passed ball. So the tandem between Gauthier and Jaffine in the spotlight here in the bottom half of the 5th. Runners second and third now. It's a chopper. That could easily be a questionable play at first. Called out at first. The Jackfish do score a run at the plate as Dave Benning comes home to score. But Jacob Goba, welcome to the pond, and the Welland Boos roar on that questionable call at first.
Very questionable. He was flying down the line.
Your shortstop, number 5, Brendan Datsun.
We'll make it a 3-2 ball game regardless.
You know, catchers known for their speed. And just working this plate there. He was flying down the line trying to hustle that one out.
So Eric Marriott, the lone base runner now for the Jackfish. He's the tying run. He sits at third base. 2-out situation, though. That misses upstairs and away. This is Dane Sutherland. Datsun first. Datsun batting now for the Jackfish. He walked his first at-bat, and then he flew out to the left fielder. Third plate appearance for Datsun. Swing and a miss as he wanted that one, strike 1. As that fastball offering right in his wheelhouse, but just couldn't get a piece of it. 1-1 count, 2 away, 3-2 ball game. 3-2 fifth inning, rather.
Yeah, love to see a single right here.
Check swing, but it's a called strike. 1-2, 2 outs. Jackfish try to tie this ball game and bring home Marriott. This is Datsun at the dish. Sutherland, he's 0 for 2 in the ball game. He's due up next. 1-2. Here's the offering. Upstairs, good eye, keeps that one. And keeps the plate appearance keeps the at-bat alive. Struggling to get it out of the mouth tonight. 2-2. Brought the excitement back in the ballpark after being down 3-0. They come back with 2 of their own, and they're just 90 feet away from tying it. Marriott at third. That one misses outside.
Good eye. Good eye.
And Jaffine, once again. Pitchers, a couple times tonight, both pitchers have walked off the mound thinking for sure strikes.
I understand that, but that one, I don't know.
From here, it looked a little bit outside.
Yeah, that one wasn't close.
He wanted that pitch, though. 3-2 now. A single will do it to tie the ball game. Here's the 3-2.
Good eye.
And now the frustrated Jaffine will have to face Dane Sutherland with runners on the corners.
Your third baseman, number 23, Dane Sutherland.
So Dane Sutherland with runners on the corners for the Jackfish here with 2 outs. It's a 3-2 ball game. 3 runs in the top half. Jackfish 2 runs in the bottom half. That's where we sit here in the 5th.
You need a run. You got who you want at the plate here. This is a good moment for the Jackfish.
Workin called out at first base on a questionable call as it was a foot race. The Red Sox win that battle. And that's where we sit. Base runners first and third on the corners for the Jackfish. 1-0 count. That one inside and hits him.
Second hit batsman today.
So he was 0 for 2, but now Sutherland will jump aboard on the bases for the first time tonight after being hit by a pitch.
And they're loaded with 2 out now. The big man coming up.
So Hildebrand, the first baseman, he is also 0 for 2 in the ball game. He flew out to center and just a ground ball out to the second baseman. Last inning. Bases juice for Hildebrand. Tony Kwan. Last time we played the Red Sox, sent one over the wall for the Kwan bomb.
Oh man, this place will lose its collective minds if he does it again. Get one from Hildebrand.
Hildebrand looking for a grand slam, of course, but just a single will add in at least one. There's a chopper right up the first base line that trickles foul.
Hildebrand seemed to know it because he didn't even leave the batter's box.
Everybody clap your hands.
So Hildebrand fouls one down the right first baseline rather, trickles over the chalk foul, and it's an 0-1 count. Sutherland, Datsun, and Marriott, the base runners. Here's Hildebrand. 0-1, 2-out situation. Jaffine trying to get it out of this jam for the Red Sox. 3-2 score. Upstairs, 1-1.
All right.
It's a slow-moving pitch.
That was a high. You don't see the breaking pitches that high often. That one floated right up around the shoulders.
1-1. So bases juice for the Jackfish. 1-1, 2 outs. Hildebrand having a good year so far. Batting average .374. Good time for a hit here. Can hear a pin drop as he swings and misses on the foul tip. 1-2.
You got a piece of that one.
Gets really quiet in big pressure moments trying to keep Hildebrand focused and get the barrel on the ball.
Crowd right on the edge of their seats here. Single of them probably scored 2 here, so the Jackfish going.
Runners, of course, going on contact. 1-2, 2 outs. Base is loaded for the Fish, down by 1. It's a shot to the first baseman, and that will end the inning as he'll step on the base. The Jackfish leave the bases loaded. They put up 2, though. It's a 3-2 ball game. We'll go to the top half of the 6th when we return. You're watching Jackfish Baseball from the pond on Thirsty Thursday. Be sure to join the Jackfish again on Thursday, August 5th at the pond as they welcome the Barrie Bay Cats. But more importantly, the world's largest toga party. First pitch set for 7:30 p.m. Join the fun. Purchase tickets. Learn more about our group rates at wellandjackfish.com and get your toga on Thursday, August 5th.
Grab your friends, grab your togas. Thirsty Thursday, what a night.
So 3-2 the score in favor of the Red Sox. If you went away for 10 minutes and missed that inning, you missed all the runs. It was 0-0 through 4. The Red Sox put up 3. The Jackfish put up 2. And that's where we sit. Bellotto ahead, gets the third strike for another strikeout, and I believe that's his 4th this evening.
I had him at 4. Get
So
right back to that aggressive tactics that got him this far. We're right after the hitters.
So Fountain is retired
Shortstop Matt Pilarchuk.
on the strikeout, and that brings up Matt Pilarchuk, his 3rd plate appearance. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out to Bellotto in his last plate appearance. Struck out in the 1st. It's a chopper, but that'll go foul down the third base line. Red Sox come into the ball games 2 wins on the season. They sit 5 games back of the leading London majors. The Jackfish 4 games back. But we talked about it, the logjam in the middle of the standings. There's still so many games to be played. It is anyone's race really so far. London and Kitchener the front runners, but then anywhere the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots are really tight.
If you can string together a couple wins, you can. If you have a good weekend, you can bump up the standings a little bit.
Jackfish will face the league-leading majors tomorrow night at Labatt Park for the 2nd straight week. They dropped a 5-0 decision last Friday, and we'll see if they can muster up more than 2 hits as Pedro de los Santos for the majors, a complete 9-inning game, only gives up 2 hits, and they came back-to-back. So another strikeout, and if I recall, that's 5, and that's free chicken wings for everyone in attendance.
Hey, it's that 5 free wings from
Angelina's, yep,
Yeah.
Angelina's. New owners, Mike Kondurka and the company.
Sutherland. And fans, that is 5.
And there it is, Pierre Rod Mahood. Going to fire up these fans. Chicken wings.
Third base line. 5 free wings, courtesy of Angelina's.
So 2 outs now. And there's a ground ball to the third baseman, Tofflin, on the run. And Tofflin does what he does best at third base. Gobble up those ground balls and throw them across to Hildebrand for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Quick work in the top half of the 6th. The donuts from Tim Hortons making their way onto the field. Grab a drink. We'll go to the bottom half when we return to the pond. So what a new promotion brought to you by Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons always fresh and always supporting the Welland Jackfish here in the Rose City as you see the donut stack race, something you would never really think goes together, donuts, coffee, and running. But that's what won someone $25 compliments of Tim Hortons, a new promotion here at the ballpark. And we were talking, this place always like to have fun, and a new event coming, the world's largest toga party, August 5th.
Yeah, next Thursday, right?
Next Thursday, yep.
World's largest toga party. We had the other in between where they were throwing the fishing bobs and the guy was catching with his waders. I'm telling you, what a night for fans to come. Lots for the fans to do.
And now at third base for the Red Sox.
Well, be sure to join us Thursday, August 5th. Barry Bait Cat's in town, and bring your toga. The world's largest toga party is our next promotion. That's the next home game set for 7:30 p.m. first pitch.
Jaffney out there to start
Also
the bottom
catching
of
for
the 6th.
Brantford, Colton Fountain.
So the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead as Jaffine continues to work for the Red Sox here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
You know, Spencer, as we sit here on Thursdays, I had a friend of mine came to his first Jackfish game last week on a Thursday. Got a couple pond lagers, got a couple OVs, and he said that the pond lager was the better beer than the OV. I told him there's never been a more controversial statement in the city of Welland.
Yes, that OV, of course. Old Vienna, just say OV, the official, almost like holy water here in Welland, Ontario, as it is consumed. People on the east side, the west side, doesn't matter. If you're along the canal, any bar, you go to Trappers, the Rex, it seems to be colder right along the canal. OV.
If you're a bar in Welland, you need OV on tap.
It's true. It is a staple.
But
So
the pond lager, what a great addition. What a great addition for the Jackfish. What a great thing to have by Newark Brewing, newarkbrewing.com, of course. Right up there, giving OV a run for its money, which no one ever thought they'd see in Welland.
it's interesting, and obviously, fans at home would never get to know these stats, and most, employees or players would never even think of it. But concessions is what, drives a lot of sales for a lot of these teams. Yeah. And if you look at concession sales actually from 2019, Miller Lite takes the cake by quite a mile on beer sales over OV, and it was a depressing day for the OV drinkers as Miller Lite, the number one sold beverage.
League-wide,
no, here at the pond. Yeah, here at the pond.
That is very surprising.
Yes.
You always learn something new on these broadcasts, and we're learning that today.
But if you're able to make it down, and if of course you're from out of town, OV might not be as popular as it is here in Welland, but if you do go to Welland and you visit a bar, OV, just say OV, or come to the pond and grab a pond water lager. You can also get that Trappers, Tailgates. Tailgates sells them, and they are flying off the shelves there. Tailgates, proud partners of the Jackfish. And also, if you didn't know, if you go to Tailgates before the game, bring in your receipt. Closed play at first, but he is retired. Bring in your receipt from Tailgates on a game day, and you'll receive $1 off your ticket. Just show your receipt. Bring it to the box office, and you'll get $1 off.
Your designated hitter, number 11, Tony Kwan.
So Keller is retired on a ground ball, close play here in the 6th inning at first base. And now here is Tony Kwan.
Use a Kwan bomb here.
Kwan scored a run in tonight's ball game, one of the two.
I hope no one's playing softball over there. That's right in the middle of the field.
Kwan and Dave Banning have scored the runs. They've come across the plate in this 3-2 ball game in favor of the Red Sox. One-out situation here for Tony Kwan. Nobody aboard on the bases for the Jackfish here. And here's the pitch. Jaffine misses downstairs. Both starters continue to work through 6. Jaffine is out here in the 6th, and just as I look to my right, there is a righty warming up in the bullpen for the Sox. The 1-1 pitch misses outside. Gauthier unable to hold that and frame it for a strike. Couple of pitchers loosening it up, taking off the sweaters and jackets for the Jackfish in the home side bullpen. But the count 2-1 in favor of Kwan against Jaffine. Called strike.
Given that the team plays so much over the weekend, does he like to use the starters as long as he can before he starts dipping into that bullpen?
It's a different feel, obviously, than 2019, where you had your rotation, your couple of aces where you wanted to put in different games.
Yeah.
But you have to, in a way. You have to. This is the first weekend, and I believe 3 straight. The Jackfish will only play 3. They've played a couple 4-4s where you have to pretty much use anyone you can and try to stretch them out, use only 2 or 3 at most. And yeah, you're right. You'll have to stretch out the arms and try to get a good start out of your pitchers. And there's been a couple of times the Jackfish have ran into trouble in the first couple of innings, and Esri had no choice but to pull the starter after only a couple innings.
There you go for a walk.
And Kwan lets that ball go outside for a walk, and Tony Kwan's back on the bases.
Good stuff. Just one out.
So Kwan, his second walk tonight. He also singled to center back in the second, and now this is Nolan Pettipies. Nolan Pettipies 0 for 2 in the ball game. A strikeout and a ground out. And now he's got a base runner aboard just 90 feet away from him. On first is Tony Kwan. Inside low for the opening pitch to Pettipies. Ball 1. Exciting time for IBL baseball, but also the MLB, as the Blue Jays, for the first time in a long time, will play in Canada at Rogers Centre tomorrow against the Royals. They're up 6-0 over the Red Sox right now in Boston.
Good stuff. What I can't imagine being there for that first game. Just
It's like a home opener. It's a middle of the season home opener for the Blue Jays tomorrow.
the atmosphere in that place is going to be amazing.
The 15,000 strong, as really it doesn't seem like a lot, but 15,000 of the Jays right now at home is going to feel like a sold-out crowd being back under the lights at Skydome.
Might look a little odd with 15,000 in a 50,000 seat stadium, but Jays will take whatever they can get, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. You think of a normal regular season, a weeknight game for them, a Tuesday night, 15,000 is pretty average.
Yeah.
But it's a home opener feel, because they're having a decent year. Because that'll go back to first, and Kwan is safe. As now 2 pitchers up, both right-handed pitchers for the Red Sox in the bullpens. As Brendan Legg, the producer tonight, got the binoculars out trying to get us numbers. That's actually a tough job, through the mesh. And their backs are towards section 308, who are outside on their lawn chairs in their backyard. That ball misses outside. 3-1. 3-1, 1 out.
Way to work ahead of the count here. Might see one to hit right now.
So 3-1 offering on the way for Nolan Pettipies. And that's outside, and the Jackfish have another base runner aboard. Back-to-back walks from Jaffine. And that, I believe, will be the end of Jaffine's night as the mound visit from Matt McGovern comes. Back-to-back walks. And we'll see what happens. We'll pause. It is 3-2 in favor of the Sox on a mound visit, and could be a pitching change. So a quick little mound visit, and that will keep Jaffine in the ball game. But as I mentioned, they have 2 pitchers warming up. And I apologize, I said 2 righties are up, but it's actually a lefty and a righty. The one we can see is Nick Davies, the righty. We'll see if we can locate and figure out the other one. There's a ground ball to the second baseman. The throw to second in time and to first in time, and the Jackfish hit into a double play. So they get the 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Jackfish still trail 3-2. We'll go to the top of the 7th when we come back. Well, top of the 7th we go. It's a 3-2 Red Sox lead. The Red Sox have 3 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors. The Jackfish, 2 runs, 1 hit, and 1 lone error in the ballgame. And Chris Bowato will continue to pitch for the Jackfish here, as Jacob Reed swings the first pitch and fouls it to Ricky Pilateri, the third base coach for the Fish.
Given the way that Bellato's pitched today, I don't see a reason to take him out.
So it's Reed followed by Burdette and Gauthier here in the top half of the 7th. It's a 1-1 count. Here's the offering from Bowato. High fly ball to left field. Racing after it is Sutherland, but it's just out of the reach. And it's a foul ball, 1-2. One and two. And I'm listening. It's a weird setup here inside the press box at the pond, and the radio play-by-play man of the Jackfish on 610 TKTB, Elliot Price, dropping some big sources and big rumors in the MLB right now of trade deadlines right around the corner tomorrow. Trey Turner, Max Scherzer on the move, possibly. And there's a ground ball out for the second out. So the Nationals making a big splash in the MLB.
What, 2 years ago, World Series champs, and now they're getting rid of all their key pieces here, eh?
IBL, of course. I don't know, actually. I'd have to ask the team and the executive and the staff. Trade deadline in the IBL, I don't believe there is one. I'm sure. I mean, there would have to be for playoffs, but I'm not sure the actual date off the top of my head if there is, when the roster freeze would have to come into effect. Regardless, though, the Blue Jays up on top of the Bo Sox 6-0 at Fenway on the road before returning home. 0-2. Bellato's ahead. Oh and 2. Here's the offering from Bowato, misses outside. That pitch slid too far over the plate outside.
Like to see a nice clean inning here from Bowato again.
High fly ball. That's going to leak out of the reach of Sutherland again and go over the fence into the berm. So 1-2. 1 out. Nobody aboard for Gauthier.
bottom of the order that did the damage there in the 5th.
Top of the 7th. Glad you could join us. 3-2 lead for the Sox. And there's a shot off the end of the bat that will get down for a single. And Burdette, is aboard.
Wouldn't exactly call that one a rocket into the outfield or anything. Just floated it over the infield. Little single out there.
So Lamprey comes in relief of Gauthier. So Lamprey has a runner aboard on first base. And a 3-2 lead for the visiting Brantford Red Sox. It's the 5th hit of the ball game for Brantford. Jackfish only 1 hit so far in the ball game against Jaffine. Here in the top of the 7th, there's a pitch that Bellato wanted the strike, but he falls behind 2-0 as that pitch just missed below the strike zone. Carente still loosening up for the Jackfish. He's been warming up a couple of innings now. I'm assuming this probably will be the last inning we'll see Bellato, if he can get out of it here. Base runner is on first with a 1-out situation. Called strike, a late called strike nonetheless, but it is a 2-1 count.
Two pitches looked a lot the same. One gets called a ball, one's a strike. Really putting them right there on the knees.
Caught the outside of the zone, 2-2 rather. The lone base runner just sitting aboard on first.
That's the east pitch.
Is
Again,
Burdette.
down 2-0, works his way back to even up the count.
Bellato continues to work in the 7th, 2-2. It's a shot to right. Dave Benning diving, not going to be able to grab it. That's going to squeak behind him. Burdette rounding second, going to third. He'll stop at third. Just drops in front of Dennis Dave Banning, who reached out, tried to get everything of that one. That would have been huge for the Jackfish. But now Sox have runners second and third.
You can't fault him for the effort. Laid out, just couldn't come up with it. Again, the bottom of the order though has been the catalyst here for the Red Sox.
So Lamprey able to get aboard on the double. And that moves Burdette to third. So a 3-2 lead for the visiting Red Sox here in the top of the 7th. And they get a 5th and 6th hit of the ball game. That one a double off the bat of Lamprey. Tough grab and a tough play for Dave Benning. Thought he would have had it, but just drops in front of him. That's going to get by Tofflin and score a run as Burdette's going to round third and come home.
Yeah, the infield in, They had him up on the edge of the grass. He just ripped it right by him.
So we'll see what happens with Bellato,
Center fielder Gianfranco
as there seems to be no movement from the bullpen or Ezri yet. But they take a 4-2 lead off a line drive that gets just out of the reach of Tofflin, who was playing in. So now the runner's on the corner for the Sox here in the 7th. So Burdette is the runner that comes home to score to make it a 4-2 lead and a 2-run lead for the Sox. There's a shot right to center field. Marriott. Runner tags from third. The throw in. Not going to be in time. Now the throw to second. Got him at second.
That's a good play to end the inning there.
So they add in a run to make it a 5-2 lead. But Ezri coming out to question.
Time to get on your feet.
Challenge him on
Join the
third.
Harry Carey of the Rose City, Mr. Tom Pallone, and singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
So they questioned if he tagged up at third. He did. The umpire says yes. It will be 5-2. They put up 2 in the 7th. Take me out to the ball game time. Grab a drink, get some snacks. We'll be back. Bottom of the 7th and the close of this game when we return. It's a 5-2 lead for the Brantford Red Sox after 2 more tacked on by the Sox in the 7th. Your 9-inning vacation begins at Welland Jackfish home games. Bring your group and enjoy our group ticket or VIP Peak Performers dock packages. To learn more or to book your group outing, visit wellandjackfish.com. And the Jackfish, only one home game this week, Thursday night right here, a Thirsty Thursday. Tomorrow night, they visit Labatt again. They'll go to Labatt Park to take on the London Majors, and then their first visit to Barrie on Saturday night. So a couple of road games following tonight's ball game in London and then in Barrie. The Jackfish try to rally here, down 3 against the team they've never lost to, the Brantford Red Sox. They're 7-0 so far against this ball club.
There you go, showed bunters on the first pitch there.
So Marriott will lead things off, then back to the top of the order for Workin, Dadson, and Sutherland. The 1-0 off the end of the bat, it sends it foul down the left field side. This is still Jaffine. Jaffine still working, the starter. Only has given up 1 hit through 6 complete innings here in the 7th. It's a 5-2 Sox lead. So a great outing from the lefty for the Brantford Red Sox. We talked about his ERA, only 2.25. Comes into the ball game.
Yeah, you can see why here today.
Sounds like a broken bat, but it's not going to get out of the infield as the shortstop for the Sox moves over to make the grab for out number 1. So he'll need new lumber as that bat suffered a crack on that little little fly to Pilarchuk, the shortstop.
Jackfish having problems just squaring up the ball here.
So now back to the top of the order for Workin. Workin, Dadson, and he'll be followed by Sutherland. Upstairs, misses for ball 1. Jackfish trying to climb back into it. Once again, they trail. This time it's 5-2. Here at home, the Red Sox looking for their 3rd win of the season. Jackfish trying to find their 4th victory. That pitch is called a strike on the outside corner. One-on-one with 1 out. Nobody aboard for the Jackfish after that little pop-up right to the shortstop, Pilarchuk.
Oh, right off the catcher.
Foul tip right off the catcher's helmet, and a beautiful grab right below us.
From St. Anne's came up with that ball.
1-2. And Workin's behind in the count. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Grounded out to the shortstop in his last 2 plate appearances, and he fly ball to center in his first at-bat of the first inning. 1-2, 1 out. Here's the 0-3 Workin trying to ignite here. Get something going for the Fish. Takes that one upstairs. Ball 2. Top of the order really has not been great tonight. Dadson. He's yet to get a base. He got a base on a walk, Sutherland, he also walked, but he was 0 for 2. And Hildebrandt's 0 for 3. High fly ball, but that's going to go behind everyone and into the parking lot off the press box roof. 2-2. So Corrente still warming up for the Fish and Casey Howard. 2-2 in the bottom of the 7th. As Howard's up and moving as well. Upstairs, 3-2. Three and 2, full count now to Cole Workin for the Jackfish, down by 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Just over the 2-hour mark in the ball game. Here's the 3-2 chopper into the dirt of the second baseman, throw over to first in time. And they retire 2 straight batters for the Jackfish here in the bottom half of the inning.
You know, given the way the game started, I did not expect Jaffini to be out here still in the 7th inning. 2 outs now in the 7th inning, but like you said, one hit. One hit. Just haven't been able to square him up.
So Dadson, he's walked and had a single in the 5th. 2 outs, though, nobody aboard for Dadson. Pitch inside, misses for a ball. 1-0 to Dadson. Here in the bottom of the 7th, it's a 1-0 count to Brendan Dadson. Check swing. Inside, lets it go by for a ball. 2-0 now the count. 2-0, 2 outs. Nobody aboard for the Fish. As Jaffine grabs his side, continuing the work. The starter for the Red Sox. Upstairs. 3-0 count.
Hasn't been able to find the plate at all this at-bat.
So now the 3-0, 2 outs, and nobody aboard. Dadson looking to get something going here, and now that's in there for a strike to bring the count back to 3-1. 3-1 is the count at the plate to Dadson. Dadson followed by Sutherland, who's due up, and Sutherland, last couple of games, has really cooled off at the plate. Defensively, has been really strong. And there's a fly ball. The shortstop, Pilarchuk, is there to make the grab on his knees. And they go 3 up, 3 down. After the Red Sox put up 2 to stretch the lead to 3. Top of the 8th, we come when we come back. Join us. And if you can't make it down to the ballpark, be sure to join us right here on YouTube every game as we go to the 8th when we come back. Jesse Fishbaum will lead things off for the Red Sox here in the top half of the 8th inning. They have a comfortable 3-run lead, something that has not happened very often for the Red Sox or Jackfish this season. But the Jackfish at risk of losing their perfect streak against the Red Sox. They've won all 7 meetings since the Jackfish have come into the IBL in 2019. Bellotto continues to work. He gets the opening pitch. A strike, and now that one also called a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 the count now to Jesse Fishbaum. Fishbaum's 1 for 3. The 0-2 to Fishbaum will be followed by Fountain and then Pilarchuk. That one's in the dirt, and that one gets away from Bellotto.
Like we talked about, though, you got to manage your arms. Boato's just out there eating innings tonight. We're in the 8th. Still throwing strikes. Ahead 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 to Fishbaum, as we talked about. A Corrente and Casey Howard were the two pitchers up for the Jackfish. There's a shot just out of the reach of Boato, and you could tell by his body language that his time in this ballgame might be limited now, as we'll take a look at Esri and see if he makes any sort of motion to walk towards the mound. It stays put in the dugout as that pitch just hammered right back over the head of Boato.
Catcher Colton Fountain.
Right back up the middle. Missed his glove by, looked like inches from here.
So it's a leadoff single for Fishbaum, and the Red Sox have a base runner aboard. Ball 1 now to Colton Fountain, the second baseman tonight. Third baseman, rather. 1-0. Pilarchuk on deck for the Red Sox. In there for a strike, and the Red Sox don't believe it as that one looked to dip below the strike zone, but it's called strike. 1-1 the count. Colton Fountain, they go back to Fishbaum at first to hold him there. And if you remember, Fishbaum again at the end of it ended up stealing second base after 4 pickoff attempts. That was back in the 4th inning.
3 were real close.
Here's the offering. Misses for the ball, 2-1. So the count 2-1 now for the Brantford Red Sox batter, the right-handed batter, Colton Fountain. Has Fishbaum at first. Ground ball to Tofflin. To second for 1. And they'll get him out. And they are not able to make the throw, so Fountain will be aboard on first, but they have the base runner of Fishbaum out at second.
Tough to go all the way around the horn for that double play. Fishbaum was right up there breaking up the throw at second too.
One-out situation now for the Jackfish and the Red Sox. It's a 5-2 Red Sox lead. As Kevin St. Jean, a proud fish head, joins the broadcast, watching from the booming metropolis of Thorold, Ontario. 0-1. Now the middle of the order for Brantford. They have that 3-run cushion here in the top of the 8th. Fountain aboard at first. A 1-out situation. Here's the offering. Misses outside. 1-1. 1 out, 1 base runner, and a ball and a strike on the board here in the top of the 8th. Sutherland and then Reed due up for the Red Sox. The middle of the order, 4, 5, 6. Swing and a miss. Good pitch.
Right through it. Blew it right by him.
Boato tonight, 5 strikeouts. Looking for his 6th here, and it'll be a big one. Pilarchuk trying to get something going and add on to this lead for the Red Sox. The pitch is down the middle low. Not in time to get the play at first. As Fountain tags back up quick in time. Also, just a blowout tonight from Fenway. The Blue Jays all over Boston, 13-zip
My goodness.
from Fenway.
Yeah. Nice pitch.
Good pitch. Curveball gets him for the looking strike, and his 6th strikeout of the ball game.
By my count, that's his 3rd
Designated hitter
strikeout
Liam
looking too.
Sutherland.
That one just froze him. Beautiful pitch.
So 2 outs now for the Red Sox here in the top half of the 8th. They have that 5-2 lead. Huge hit, though, to left field. And it is gone. The Red Sox add on 2 more and take a 7-2 lead. The designated hitter, Sutherland, sends a bomb to left field. And now it's 7-2 Red Sox.
That's an absolute no-doubter. Just a missile right out the left center.
So a couple RBIs off that 2-run blast to left. And the game now 7-2 for the visiting Brantford Red Sox as they celebrate in the dugout. And that'll be the end of Boato. So Boato leaves after giving up a 2-run blast. We'll step aside. New pitcher to the ball game when we come back.
Second baseman Jacob Reed.
Well, what a tough way to come in if you're Rich Corrente, as that's who they'll turn to, the lefty from Chatham. Having a pretty decent year, only ERA of 3.78 and 16 2/3 inning pitch. He struck out 13 batters, giving up 18 hits so far. But now he comes in a 7-2 lead for the Red Sox. First batter, ground ball for the out. So he does his job, but he came in after a 2-run blast. That's where we stand, 7-2 through 7.5. We'll go to the bottom half of the 8th when we come back. Jackfish down by 5.
Dean Sutherland.
7-2 lead for the Red Sox. Rally cap time for the Jackfish here in the bottom of the 8th. Dane Tofflin will start things off for the Jackfish. Sutherland reached base only one time tonight. That was in the 5th inning. First pitch, ground ball to the shortstop. The throw to first in time on a great scooping play from Nick Burdett, and the Red Sox retire Dane Sutherland once again.
Well hit ball deep in the hole at short. Made a nice scoop and good throw over to first. Nice play over there by Burdett.
So the first pitch of the bottom of the 8th, it's a ground ball to the shortstop. And the beautiful scoop from Burdett to get the out at first. And now Hildebrandt. Opening pitch downstairs, ball 1. Jackfish trail by 5 here to the Brantford Red Sox. The lone team behind them in the standings. The Jackfish and Red Sox 4 games respectively behind the London Majors. A third of the way through the season. There's a ground ball that's chopped foul, almost into the Red Sox dugout. Red Sox coming off a big win over the Hamilton Cardinals. And now they'll look for a second straight right here against the Jackfish. They have that 5-run lead here in the 8th. Middle of the order now, this is Hildebrandt, followed by Keller and Kwan. The 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Jackfish tonight. Hildebrandt batting at .364 into the ball game.
Part of the order, you love to see him get going here for the Jackfish. There's a little
blooper that's going to go foul. 1-2, 1 away. And the Jackfish trying to find a little bit of magic. It was the 8th inning on Saturday afternoon where they did all their damage. They put up 4 into the bottom half of the 8th to get ahead of the Maple Leafs and take that 5-2 win away from Toronto, who was leading the whole way, 2-1 all the way to the 8th. And then the Bats came alive to send the Buds home. There's a high pop-up to the first baseman, Burdett. And he drops it.
Hey,
oh, boy. He'll hear about that one on the way home. A high fly ball to the moon, a little pop-up. No
looked like
out.
Yeah, looked like
as it should have easily been an out.
In foul territory there.
We'll see if that is the turning point of the ball game, as that should have easily been out number 2. But now the at-bat continues for Hildebrandt, 1-2. Perfect time to hit a home run and really put the pressure on.
Love to see him make him pay for that mistake.
Here's the offering from Jaffine upstairs, and now that evens the count at 2. Jaffine has been fantastic in the ball game.
He really has. He's just tied the Jackfish up all day.
2 runs, only 1 hit, and the error from Welland so far. So he's only given up that lone hit. 2-2 count. Called strike on the lower part of the strike zone for out number 2. So Burdett can sigh a relief on that one, as Hildebrandt's retired from his pitcher Jaffine on the strikeout.
Your left fielder, number 24, Griffin Keller.
So now Griffin Keller, he's 0 for 3 in the ball game. A strikeout, a fly out to the left fielder, and a line drive to first. 2 outs for Griffin Keller. Here's the pitch from Jaffine. Good pitch inside, able to foul it away though, is Keller. So Griffin Keller falls behind in the count 0-1. No base runners aboard for the Fish here in the bottom of the 8th. As if I check this correctly, and we may have to check with the official scorer, Curtis Person, that was his 129th pitch. Wow. If I add them up correctly.
I'm not a math guy, so I'm going to take your word at it. That is putting.
If you check point streak, 70 strikes and 58 balls. Add them up, 128. There was 129.
He's still throwing strikes.
0-2. Here's the offering from Jaffine, and that misses high. There's a lot of heat, though, from his 130th pitch. And like you said, you have to use those pitchers when you're using, 4 games and 4 nights, you could easily go through the whole rotation.
Absolutely.
And they only get a couple days off in between, really, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with some odd Wednesday games. Got him looking, another strikeout for Jaffine. Back-to-back looking strikeouts to end the inning. What an outing from Jaffine. Adam Jaffine for the Red Sox has pitched 8 complete. It's 7-2 Sox. We'll go to the 9th when we come back.
Yes, indeed, you can join the
So, if the Jackfish are going to pull out their 4th win of the season, they'll need 5 here, and they'll have to keep the Red Sox off the board. We've played 8 complete, 7-2, and there's a leadoff first pitch that goes foul down the first baseline. That was Corrente's 2nd pitch of the ball game, compared to Adam Jaffine, who's pitched 131. And it's looking like he might come back for the 9th.
Why not? I mean, he's given up 1 hit. He's been just struck out the last 2 he faced.
Pretty good numbers for sure. Obviously, a lot of pitches, which you don't want to see on the pitcher, but only 1 hit, and they have only 2 runs on the board.
I appreciate Corrente taking part in Beard Night here tonight.
Yes, Fear the Beard. It's a lot less. It's more tame for sure than it was back in 2019. One of the most vicious beards in the IBL on Beard Appreciation Night is the lefty of Rich Corrente. He's thrown 3 pitches, all of them strikes. The count now 0-2 for the leadoff man, Burnett.
Yeah. No.
Missed for a ball. 1-2. Jackfish will complete 10 games. The first third of the season complete, looking like they might fall to 3-7. Something they'll want to clean up in the next 10 and finally figure it out. They haven't really been able to find the bats and find a complete game yet this season. So the first 10 out of the way at least.
They've had either bats going or pitching going, but they haven't been able to put it all together.
And they'll have to find that rhythm quickly as the Majors and the Panthers are pulling away from the majority of the standings. London 7-2, I believe, right now through 9.
It's not going to get easier for them on the weekend.
No, they'll face them tomorrow night in London. That would be a huge win to try to steal that one. 3-2, full count now. Here's the offering from Corrente. It's well inside, and that will hit Nick Burdett. So just a awful way to end the at-bat. He hits him. And he is aboard being hit by a pitch.
Shortstop, Zach Lamprey.
So hit by pitch gets him aboard. And now Zach Lamprey.
He didn't even flinch after getting hit by that. That came right in on him.
Didn't have a lot of speed on that one, on the breaking ball, but it definitely does not feel good. Spider Dan says a guy could throw another 100. 100 more. Maybe in the season. Off the end of the bat, foul. Right back to that right field berm. A kid could sit there tonight. Right in that right field berm.
The slide down the hill into the fence. Questionable tactic, but he got the ball, so.
1-1 now. Here's Lamprey. That misses well outside. Boato known for his fastball and heat when it's on. And now Carente, a guy you don't often see throw the fastball. Not a lot of speed. Behind this, he's a pitcher that has had 2 Tommy John surgeries. 2-2.
2 Tommy John surgeries.
Double.
My goodness, and he's still here.
Still doing the game. He's still throwing the ball. Playing for the team he loves, the Jackfish here. 2-2, that's well outside. 3-2. Carente, the Chatham, Ontario native from out west. Western Ontario, regardless, comes here to the Jackfish. Was a part of the Burlington herd. One of those key members. There's a broken bat over the head, and that could be enough for a single. The throw in time gets the first out off the little broken bat blooper over the head of Carente, but a running in second baseman Pettipiece able to make that play at first.
That's a great play by Pettipiece. Just a broken bat. Ball falls into no man's land. Barehanded scoop, gets the runner in time. Nice job.
So DeLuca will be followed by Morello and Fishbaum as they go back to the top of the order after DeLuca. 1 out. Swing and a miss. As Carente, of course, his fastball much slower than Boato, so it's a time for adoption, excuse me. Holy, cannot talk here on a thirsty Thursday, 10:09 p.m. Eastern Time. It's getting a little bit late. Good pitch, just misses upstairs. They have to adapt to his speed change, of course. Only the 3rd pitcher into the ball game between the 2 ball clubs. Jaffine has pitched all late. Boato came out after that 2-run blast from the DH of Sutherland. What a shot to left field, no doubter. And that's where we sit, 7-2 for the Red Sox.
You know, Boato pitched a great game. The numbers might not look at it if you look at it in the paper tomorrow morning, but he was out aggressive, ahead of batters all night.
And that one bounces right in front of Workin. 3-1 the count. The Jackfish, if they do lose again, they fall to 3-7 through their first 10 games. A lot different than their 2019 record when they went 19-17 and they finished 4th. They lose tonight, they fall to the basement in the last place position with the Red Sox. And at least 4 games behind the Majors, who they'll visit tomorrow night. So it's a walk for DeLuca. Carente gives up his first walk of the ball game, and that brings us back to Morello in the top of the order. Morello, Fishbaum, Fountain, and Pilarchuk, the big bats for the Red Sox. Swing and a miss. Back to second. Got him?
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's a great play.
Just say OB. That's how you do it.
Yeah, Workin just caught him on that secondary lead.
He was pretty far off the bag.
Yeah, he was over chatting with the shortstop, it looked like.
So good heads-up play by Workin. Sergette Burdette, who was at least 10 to 15 feet off the bag. Now the 0-1. Just a bit inside. It's Bobby Uecker, of course. Just a bit outside. That one inside, almost hitting him. 1-1. 2 outs, though, now for the Red Sox here in the top of the 9th. They have that 5-run lead. That one's outside. 2-1. That was a huge theme night last year, of course, the Major League night. And Wild Thing, and what a night that was in 2019.
I was here for that night as a spectator. I got my skull and crossbone Wild Thing sunglasses.
Jackfish, of course, wearing the different unis on that night, the Major League inspired uniforms. Jackfish wore 5 different uniforms last year. The Pirate themes, as it was a Welland Pirates afternoon. This year there'll be the Welland Roses in honor of the Rose City. That game Thursday, September 2nd. That'll be a special day, as the Jackfish will be renamed the Welland Roses and wear Welland Roses uniforms, which are in now, and they look spectacular.
Real sharp. The hats are just...
The hat sales right now. You can buy them right now. Shop.wellandjackfish.com. Beautiful hats. Even if you're not a Jackfish baseball lover, you might be a baseball hat collector. That is definitely one to add.
Might just
In
be a
on his
Welland
hands.
lover.
Yes.
Just want to show your support
Yep.
for the city of Welland.
As I believe the Rose Parade this year did get canceled again due to COVID-19, as the Rose Festival normally in June in the middle of the summer. But Jackfish will pay their respects and homage to the beautiful city of Welland Thursday, September 2nd. As the Jackfish this year also signing a huge lease agreement to stay with the city of Welland. This is a place we want to be. An option to extend it to 12 years. So the Jackfish are not going anywhere. Bringing baseball back to the Rose City since the Pirates in the 90s. 3-2, 2 outs. The Red Sox have that 5-run lead here, looking for their 3rd win of the season. But more importantly, their 1st win against the Jackfish, something they've been probably looking at for a long time, as they were only able to muster up a couple of wins in 2019. And all 5 losses against the Jackfish last year in 2019, rather, and 2 so far this season. Runner going, and it's a walk as that pitch misses outside, and Carente frustrated with the call.
You know, I would argue that the Jackfish
Right fielder Jesse Fishbone.
probably have the best promotional nights in the IBL. I haven't seen the other teams' list, but I'm just gonna go on a limb and say the Jackfish are the best ones, because we got some great stuff coming up for you. And as you mentioned, in 2019, the Welland Pirates Appreciation Night. As someone who grew up here in Welland in the 90s, that was a good one for me. I got a couple Welland Pirates shirts at home now, thanks to the Jackfish.
Good pitch from Carente called strike as he's trying to settle in. He's walked a couple batters so far since coming in the 8th inning in relief of Bowato. Was able to throw just one pitch in the 8th to get that out. 0-1, foul tip for another strike, 0-2. 0-2, 2 outs. Base runners on 1st and 2nd in a 7-2 lead for the Red Sox. As the organ music continues to play, gotta love it. Pulling the organ out. It'd be nice to have a live organ. That would really add a little flair to the ballpark. If you're an organ player and you want to play, get in touch. Close play at first, a lot closer than it needed to be. So the bats will be put away for the Red Sox unless we're going to the extra innings. Jackfish need 5. We're watching live Jackfish baseball on YouTube, the official home of the Welland Jackfish.
Ninth inning for your Welland Jackfish. Designated hitter number 11, Tony Kwan.
So here we go. Tony Kwan start things off for the Jackfish. He'll face Adam Jaffine. He's pitched 131 through 8. Now he comes into the bottom of the ninth. Swing and a miss by Kwan. He's had a decent night. Been on base every time he's come to the plate. It is a 7-2 lead, though, for the Sox. That pitch in the dirt. Is it just me, or am I seeing fog, like, starting to roll in a little bit?
See it over in the center field over there.
Yeah.
The trees, eh?
A little bit of fog making its way into the center field area. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It rained earlier, and it is a humid night, but that's kind of odd. It just pops out of nowhere, as it is still 23 degrees at 10:19 p.m. here in Welland, Ontario. No breeze at all. It was a windy day, especially during batting practice. There was a pretty heavy wind. Now the flags just sitting there. Swing and a miss, as he wanted that one, but it was outside, and Kwan is retired on another strikeout. That's 3 straight from Adam Jaffine.
Second baseman number 4, Nolan Pettipiece.
Jaffine has struck out Hildebrandt Keller in the 8th, and now Tony Kwan, the leadoff man in the 9th. He's having an excellent outing, and they're leaving him in there to go the distance. Here's Nolan Pettipiece. Upstairs for the opening ball. We'll see if he gets to 150 pitches. Just a ridiculous pitch count for Jaffine going the distance tonight.
I hope he has nothing to do with his left arm tomorrow.
There's a good called strike, though. Good offering off that upstairs ball to get the at-bat going against Pettipiece. He's already struck out Pettipiece once tonight. That was back in the 2nd inning. And he also has struck out Dave Benning, who is due up next. Swing and a miss. And now he's ahead in the count 1-2. So 1-2 to Pettipiece. One out, nobody aboard. Outside, 2-2. So now you look, the fog has moved to right field.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's a nice little patch out there, right?
yeah. 2-2 the count, 1 out. Nobody aboard for the Jackfish here in the 9th as they desperately try to stay alive. On the ground, that'll go into the little hole between the third baseman and shortstop. And it'll be a hit for Pettipiece to bring up. It was Dave Benning, but it'll be a pinch hitter for the Jackfish.
Pinch hitting for the Jackfish.
So Zardley Cena will come in and hit.
Zardley Cena.
Zardley Cena so far is trying to find a little better numbers since coming from the Panthers. He scored 1 run, has 5 hits and 28 at-bats. He struck out 3 times so far in 2021 and is sporting a 179 batting average. So Cena comes in and off the bench tonight for the Jackfish. So the 24-year-old for the Fish trying to keep the game alive and get something going. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it back into the parking lot. 0-1. So the first time he'll see Zardley Cena tonight as he comes to pinch hit for Dave Benning. And Marriott, the bottom of the order, due up next with 1 out. As the fog makes its way into the infield now. We'll see if that has any effect to the ball game. Pitch outside corner. And now he's ahead of the count 0-2.
Be a great time for Cena to start turning his season around too, the early going.
0-2, 1 out for Zardley Cena at the dish. Adam Jaffine, he seems to be just in his own zone here. As there's a ground ball that could easily be turned into a double. They don't. They just go to first for the one. Probably a smarter move. No need to try to take any chances. And now the Jackfish are down to their last out with a runner in scoring position, though, on second. Robbie Lewis, Bobby Lou, never giving up. Downstairs behind the plate.
Center fielder number 9, Eric Marriott.
As Kevin St. Jean thinks we need to get CP Curtis Person. I mean, he's already got about 18 hats on. The official meteorologist, scorekeeper, scoreboard operator. And now you want to throw him into the pinch hit.
Yeah, why not?
And actually, I believe his softball club, the Axemen, playing just to the right of us here on field 1 this evening. Healthy scratch from that one to do the 1s and 2s for the Jackfish. 2 out now situation for Eric Marriott. As Adam Jaffine, 81 strikes, 62 balls. Add up that, you got 143. And it's a ground ball. It's a foot race, though. He'll slide to first as the ball put the brakes on, never made it to the dirt.
Maybe the ugliest single of the season. A slow roll that didn't even make it to the infield dirt.
Wow. So Marriott gets aboard for the second time tonight.
Number 34, Cole Workin.
Workin due up, and he comes to the plate with a runner on first and third. What an effort. Marriott runs that out. Didn't really, most guys you think you're down by 5, ground ball. Maybe you kind of get frustrated at yourself and don't put the effort in. But the run keeps the at-bat, it keeps the game alive. 7-2 score.
You're right. Down 5 in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out, and he's hustling down the line and sliding into first. Great effort. Just showing the team he's in it to win it.
Jaffine called ball on a fastball that looked good, but it's a 1-1 count now to Workin. Workin, by the way, 0 for 4 in the ball game. He's grounded out 3 times, and he flied out to center field in the first. Runners on the corners, though. Downstairs, 2-1.
Can't seem to find it.
As Jaffine is right around the corner from 150 pitches in the ball game. That's got to be the most thing I've ever seen in the IBL or any baseball league for that matter with just one arm going.
Not since the days of Cy Young have you seen these kind of numbers. Oh, that's away.
And that'll be a pitch that gets away from him. That'll score another run. 7-3. The Jackfish get a free gift here in the ninth. Now the count 3-1. And nobody, by the way, warming up in the bullpen. No action at all from the Red Sox. 2-out situation.
Second run off a wild pitch, too.
You have to think if the Jackfish can score one more, there has to be some movement in the Red Sox dugout, but it looks no movement at all. Nobody moving here, and it's 7-3 is that first pitch.
Oh, you walked and loaded.
Walk, because it was a 3-1 count. And now the Jackfish have a runner on first and second.
Loaded. Oh, no, that's the third base coach.
Ricky Piliteri trying to...
He's standing over there on third, makes it look like they're loaded.
He is a little close to the base. He is almost standing on the base. As that is him and Fountain having a couple words. Bottom of the ninth, though. Jackfish have some action. Runners first and second. They trail by 4 now on a wild pitch. That got away. Dadson fouls that one away. 0-1. By the way, 150 pitches. Check mark.
That was it? 150.
150 so far for Jaffine. How's your arm? 0-1 count, 2 outs. As Jaffine trying to keep his arm intact. Here comes the 151st pitch of the game. Misses for a ball, and umpire giving it to him. A tight call.
Yeah. After
1-1.
After 151, surprised he didn't get it to the plate.
1-1, 2 outs. Jackfish have runners at first and second. They trail by 4 runs. Keep the fans in it. Extra baseball needs to happen. Possibility here. There's a pitch low, 2-1. Pitch by pitch. Bobby Lou down to the first row. Never give up. That chant that started us here in the bottom of the ninth may have something going here. And that play by Marriott diving to first kept the game alive. Could be a huge turning point here. Here's the 2-1 inside. There's a grounder, though. This could be close as well. Safe at second, safe at first. Don't turn this off. Bases loaded for the Fish. The Jackfish have the bases juiced and a home run grand slam away from going to extras.
Oh my goodness, do not go anywhere.
And as I mentioned, finally, this could be the end of Jaffine as someone's up in the bullpen. They're going to take the ball away from him after 153? What's 50 more? 7-3 score, bases loaded. Matt McGovern, who pitched the last time the Sox were here, the acting skip for the Red Sox. I thought maybe we might see McGovern come back out and just take the ball and pitch, but he goes back to the dugout. Oh boy. Well, how about Dane Tofflin? You couldn't ask for a better guy at the dish. Him or Tony Kwan, I think, would be pretty big. Dane Tofflin, though, just to let you know your mom's watching, big time to hit a grand slam. That'll tie the ball game. Jaffine, 153 pitches, by the way. It's almost laughable. Like how you can go that long.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone throwing this many pitches. I feel like his arm's going to fall right off his body after one of these throws.
0-1 is that one down the middle. Called for a strike, and this is a big hitter to go against. Jaffine trying to get out of this for the Red Sox. High fly ball. Gotta go. Get up. Not enough juice. But Jaffine, arm intact, holds on and keeps the Jackfish off the scoreboard. 7-3 your final. Wow. What an effort from Jaffine. If this was the 8th, it would be a different story, but the 9th, he gets out of it. 154 unofficial count. But what an outing for the Red Sox. They come in and get their first win over the Jackfish. Final score 7-3. What a game from Adam Jaffine. No doubt about that.
No doubt about it. Like you said, almost 160 pitches. Giving up just a few hits. Jackfish made it exciting at the end. They showed that they're not going to go out easy. A couple that came up in 1 hit short.
So 155 pitches.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
And he only gives up 1 earned run. Final score 7-3. What an outing from Jaffine and the Red Sox. Glad you could be a part of this one. The Jackfish return home 1 week from tonight. World's largest toga party. That game gets underway 7:30 p.m. Be sure to bring your toga. Tell your friends. Join us here at the pond. We'll see you next Thursday night. You can catch tomorrow's game in London on the London Broadcast Network. Check them out on YouTube. Saturday, they're in Barrie at Coates Stadium. Until then, I'm Spencer Tangway. The Jackfish 3-7 through the first 10. Looking to change that tomorrow from Labatt Park.